Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my might. I'm so Ray. My videos are about love, infinity, creation, energy, because we're infinite love, infinite energy, infinite creation. This is who we are. We are the most incredible species there is. We are the epicenter of the cosmos. This is our location. Our planet Earth orbits the central sun of the universe as we know it. The very epicenter, the core, the heart of everything that there is and would always be. And we are the human race. We are the species that orbits the central sun. This is who we are. We're this remarkable species. We're the most important species, with the most evolved species, with the most advanced species in all terms, in all shapes, ways, and forms. We are just the most ancient species. This is who we are. We are the image of the Creator, the central sun. We're light spherical energy ourselves. We're light spherical beings. Just like the singularity that the central sun of the universe is, we are the same. The human heart is a biological singularity. It's the highest energy of creation. This is who we are. We're the biological expression of infinity. This video is one of a series of videos that I've been making about infinite virtuous cycles. This one is the infinite virtuous cycle of the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. How these two glands of the human body, they're both located in the human brain. They come together as one, this duality principle. So it's the pituitary gland and the pineal gland coming together as one in this virtuous cycle of infinity. This infinite virtuous cycle that leads to what we call the beyond, the sixth sense and beyond, infinity, beyond what we can observe with the traditional five senses, with our eyes, with our ears, with our mouth, with our skin so we can touch and feel, and with our smell, our nostrils, right? The five traditional senses, the sensory perceptions, right? And our brain is located right there. So you got to think about it from that point of view. Where is the brain located? Well, the brain is located in the perimeter, the periphery of our senses, the closest proximity to our senses. You see, two eyes, duality, two nostrils, duality, two lips, two lobes of the tongue, two gums, right? Two sets of teeth, right? Duality, two ears, duality, the skin everywhere, duality. You see the five senses there: sight, hearing, smell, touch, and taste. And where are they all located? Well, right next to the brain. Because the brain decodes everything. It's an encoder, it's a decoder, it's a processor. Right? That's the job of the brain. It's signaling everything that encodes and decodes with our sensory perception, what we perceive as reality. And it makes sense of that. Okay? And that information is stored in our DNA at the cellular level. So all cells of the body store all the memories. So in that way, it's distributed and decentralized. But remember, there is these two glands in duality, the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. They're both in the brain, right? And remember, the brain is this processor, right, that encodes and decodes our senses. So these are our traditional five senses, right, that I made reference to. But then there is the sixth sense, which is beyond that. Is beyond what we can see, beyond what we can hear, beyond what we can taste, beyond what we can smell, beyond what we can touch. And this is the sixth sense. And when these two glands come together as one, they're located in the brain, remember. They come together as one in this infinite virtuous cycle. We open the third eye. Opening the third eye, as is known. Why is it the third eye? Because it's the eye that allows us to see beyond the five senses, evolving beyond what is known as the traditional five senses, the sixth sense, right? And this is what the third eye is. It's a combination of the pituitary gland and the pineal gland, and this is an infinite virtuous cycle. And how do we open the third eye? How do we get into this infinite virtuous cycle of the pituitary gland and the pineal gland working together? You see this duality principle. Well, we stare at the sun. The sun is right in front of me right now. So you stare at because we have eyes, and our eyes are spherical for a reason. You see, we have irises. And in our iris, we got cone cells so we can see light, so we can see the sun. Because light comes from the sun. So we stare at the sun, and this energy comes inside the body. So this is called opening the portal. When we stare at the sun, we open our hearts, open our minds, and open our eyes and stare at the sun as sundials, who we are. And when we do this, we open the portal, meaning the information comes in through the energy from the sun, the sunlight, and then we build a bridge as a result, meaning we supercharge ourselves with it, all our body cells, and we build this bridge that is forever, is infinite, and we're conscious of it, right? This biological bridge, right, is the electromagnetic field of the human body and the electromagnetic field of the sun together as one, in sync, right? Is a bridge. So it's being built. And we have to open the portal, which is staring at the sun, to do so, and that energy comes inside of us. So what is this energy for? Well, remember, what is it that these glands secrete, right? Because glands secrete hormones or substances, molecules, right? That's the job of a gland. A gland is there to secrete hormones, to secrete molecules, substances that the body requires, right? Because the body is this incredible organism, is the DNA of infinity, because we are the epicenter of infinity, because we are this planet that orbits the central sun of the universe that created everything in the first place, including us. This is why we have an electromagnetic field that's spherical in nature, is spherical energy, just like the sun is spherical energy. And the singularity is a biological singularity, which is a human heart, the pulse of life, the pulse of creation. The human heartbeat generates the electromagnetic field with this charge, this polarity of contraction, retraction. It generates the electromagnetism that leads to a spherical electromagnetic field, and the space structure density of that is us, a human body. Okay, so you see, this is who we are, and the highest energy comes from the epicenter of the heart, like the singularity, and the highest energy that the human heart can generate is love. So it's the highest energy we generate, just like the sun's highest energy and brightest energy, it creates light at the epicenter of it, and everything is created as a result. And we have eyes that are spherical, just like the sun, our electromagnetic field. So we have irises, we have cone cells that have DNA in them that allow us to see light, which is everything that there is, and we can exist and we can see, right? Everything as a result. So what is it that this sunlight does, which is the highest energy coming from the sun, from the epicenter of it, the creator? Well, that energy goes straight into our cells. And our pineal glands are made out of cells, pineal gland cells, and our pituitary glands are made out of pituitary gland cells. Yeah. And within each of those cells that make this organism, these glands, there is DNA in them, right? So what are the molecules that these glands produce? Well, the molecules that these glands produce are crystallic in nature. They're crystal-like molecules. DMT, THC, all these molecules. And what happens when you heat a crystal, a prism, a quartz? What happens when you heat a crystal? Any crystal, diamonds, any crystal. What happens when you heat it with light? Well, you generate the light spectrum as a result. You see light, all the different types of light, right? And there is an infinite number of light, right? Because everything is infinite. So when light, which is energy, hits a crystal, then the crystal generates this piezoelectric current. And this piezoelectric current, which is generated by the pressure within the crystals as a result of the light hitting it. And this piezoelectric phenomena leads to this light spectrum that we can see in crystals. But remember, these molecules are crystallic in nature. They're produced in the pituitary gland and they're produced in the pineal gland. They're both in the brain, right? And what is it then? Because remember, we know that everything there is because of light, because light from the sun created everything, the way of elements, photons, and all that. Created all the galaxies, everything that there is. So, and we see light with our eyes, right? So we stare at the sun and the light comes in, which is the energy of creation, because this is our biology. And that energy comes straight, what's behind our eyes? The brain. This is why the eyes are the most important sense, because everything that is behind the eyes are pretty much, again, part of the brain. They're just an extension of the brain, right? So, and then there's all these veins and all these systems that are designed essentially to the neuroplasticity of the brain is eye-centric, is sight-centric for the most part. There is obviously all the other senses as well. They're all important, but the most important is sight, because it's what allows us to see light, and light is what creates everything. Because light is energy, and we are energy ourselves. So we need to see energy because we are energy. It's just our nature as a species. So when you get the energy from the sun straight into your body, that energy, what is it? Remember, piezoelectric current. So all this electricity that is generated by the pressure hitting crystals in the way of light forms, light forms, right? Waves, light particles, photons, elements, gamma rays, flares, hitting them, right? In the way of signals, right? Because that energy comes from the sun and it goes in straight into our body cells. And our pineal glands are our cells. Pineal glands and pituitary glands. So when that energy hits the pineal gland, it's hitting the molecules, the crystalline molecules, the crystal-like molecules that are produced at the pineal gland and at the pituitary gland, DMT, THC, and an infinite number of them. They're all crystallic in nature. And what happens when light hits a crystal? Well, the light spectrum, right, which is everything that there is, because the central sun creates everything, right, the singularity of the universe, and we happen to be the epicenter of it, so we're getting the energy of infinity. That's why we're the biological expression of infinity. So when that energy hits those glands are essentially piezoelectric, you see, because of the molecules that they generate. So when they get hit, it generates what we know as a sixth sense, which is the light beyond the spectrum that we see, gamma and beyond, plasma and beyond, everything that is outside these five senses, because it's the sixth sense, is what's beyond. That's why it's known as the third eye, because it's what sees everything that cannot be seen with everything else. It's the sixth sense, right? So, and that's what allows us to see everything beyond our senses, right? So we can evolve into infinity. Why? Because by understanding that there is something beyond what we can see is part of infinity, we evolve into that as a result, because we become conscious and aware of that. And that is the purpose of the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, this infinite virtuous cycle, this duality principle, these two glands coming together. So when you stare at the sun, that energy goes straight into those glands because they're in the brain. It's the closest proximity to it, right? From the eyes straight into the brains and then into the rest of the body. So those glands get supercharged. The cell structure of these glands gets supercharged, and there is DNA structure within them. Remember, the DNA code within the structure of the cell of the pineal gland and the pituitary gland is purposely designed at that scale to generate crystal-like molecules, DMT, THC, and the like. All right, and also any other of the crystal-like molecules. So that is the purpose of the DNA structure as an organism within that specific gland, right? That is formed as a result. So when light supercharges that cell, that light goes straight into the DNA code of it that creates that molecule in the first place, because it has the code, so the structure of the gland can create it as a result of all these enzymes and all these amino acids and all these different proteins and all these different minerals and nutrients and elements that come together as one to create, to manufacture, to produce these molecules, these crystal-like molecules, these crystallic molecules, right? That give us these effects because it's crystallic. So light hits it, right, supercharging the cell, and then it needs a key because the DNA needs a key, and the key is love. Because love is the signal from the heart, so it's the highest energy of the heart. So when you love with your heart, with the highest energy of the heart, that is the energy, the signals. That energy supercharging the glands of the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. So that energy goes inside with the love of a heart as a signal and uses it as the key. So that energy is directly hitting the crystals molecules created within the gland. And when they hit, then the sixth sense is the third eye. Is we see beyond the senses, and that is essentially tapping into the DNA structure and seeing our DNA memories that allows us, as a biological species that is the expression of infinity, evolutionarily speaking, because we're in the proximity of the central sun, then we can see everything outside. So we can start to see gamma rays, which gamma is coming to our eyes through the sun anyway. A gamma is everywhere because of the atmosphere and all the different rays and all the different flares coming from the sun. Now we start to engage with those frequencies above the traditional sight, right? That's why crystallic energy does that. You go beyond the traditional senses. So you see gamma and beyond, because gamma is just the beginning. It's just what's above violet light. Okay? So then, and when you become aware and conscious of that, then your organism evolves into being able to comprehend and decode gamma and operate in gamma terms, all the gamma energy. And by having gamma in our organism, then we can start to use our DNA structure and the love of our hearts. Because remember, it's the energy from the sun, the sunlight, which is the highest energy of creation outside the human body, because it's the energy of creation from the central sun that created everything in the universe in the first place, right? Because we're the closest in proximity. And then love is the highest energy that we can generate with the heart, because it's the singularity of the human heart. It's the highest energy. So when these two come together, because the sunlight goes to the cell and it supercharges it, and when love as a key signals it, it opens the DNA structure, the DNA memory, and we start to evolve. And when we do that, then we go into gamma states of consciousness and self-awareness. So our structure relates to gamma now. And gamma is the beginning, because beyond gamma, remember, gamma is a very high energy. Very high energy. And when you become one with gamma and you start to understand gamma for what it is, then everything becomes gamma in your lives. And everything that is gamma, you can, now your senses, your tradition, because of the sixth sense, the pituitary gland and the pineal gland, the third eye that you've opened, because you open the portal and build the bridge and you stare at the sun, open your heart, open your mind, and then you love with all your heart, and the energy of the sun and the energy of love come together as one and supercharges you. We evolve. Because love is the key that unlocks the DNA. Right? It's the two highest energy, sunlight and love, together as one, coming to the body. And then what it does, that sixth sense, right, the third eye, allows us to activate our DNA structure, our DNA code again. And what that does, it allows the five senses, the traditional five senses, sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch, the five senses, to attune to gamma now. So now gamma becomes part of your light spectrum. And by becoming part of your light spectrum, so you can be conscious and aware of gamma, because you see gamma everywhere and everything that gamma does, all the electromagnetic spectrum of gamma and the gamma energy. Because you interact with gamma now your senses, your hearing understands what gamma is, your smelling, your taste, and your touch. So you are one with gamma now. And that's the beginning. That's the first step of evolution. So we interact with gamma. And when we start to interact with gamma, remember, we can do this because we're loving with the energy of our heart, which is the highest energy, right? That's signaling the body. So our DNA structure opens all the keys, right? Because love is there, and you have the energy of the sun that is giving you the gamma energy. So you have your body absorbs gamma and all the other energy, and with love, you use that as a mechanism. So what that does is that now our body, because we're infinite energy, infinite creation with the biology of infinity, now what starts to happen is that us, as humans, we start to really understand our nature. And our nature is to manifest with our consciousness and self-awareness, with the energy of love, which is the energy of creation, because we have primary elements, because we're compass. You see, just like the epicenter of the central sun creates the elements and light and all that at the brightest, hottest point, right? The singularity, where all the singular point where all points meet on the tension on the surface of the sphere, which is the electromagnetic field of the universe. Right, all points meet there, everything that exists, and with the biology of that, which means that within our biology, everything that exists is encoded in our DNA because we are the species inhabiting the central sun, which is the epicenter, the central energy of all the points in the universe because of the electromagnetic field of it. So that means that our DNA is encoded within our DNA, everything that exists. And we're the consciousness and awareness of that. Everything that has ever existed in the past, in the future, everything, because the universe is that, right? So all that is encoded in our DNA because we're the life form that evolved into infinity itself because we're the closest to the light, because the central sun. So because of that, when you are in a state of gamma and you're conscious of that, now you can use the energy of love to tap into your DNA memories and you start to manifest with your consciousness and self-awareness. Because remember, love is the highest energy. So just like the sun creates elements, we do the same. We have our primary elements because we're compass. Spherical compasses, this is who we are. We're not only sundials who can sync with the sun, the creator. So we can get all this energy and use it to create with the energy of the love of our hearts, right? But at the same time, we're also ourselves creators with the heart because we're the image of the creator, the central sun. And love is the highest energy. So the highest energy is what creates the primary elements. Because of the energy of love, because of the heartbeat, because we exist. The primordial instinct of the human species is to exist, and that's the human heartbeat. And as a result of that, the electromagnetic field is generated, which is spherical, and this is our compass. You see, it's electromagnetic in nature. There's electrogravitics and telemetry, and all the telemetry is our thoughts, our consciousness, our self-awareness, our intelligence, our memories. Everything that we do, our DNA memories, everything, right? Our experiences, everything everything is stored in our DNA. So, because we've been doing this for an infinite number of cycles, because we're the most ancient species, we're the first species that came before anyone else. Within our DNA, we have the information and the history and the data sets, the heritage and legacy, and the DNA memories of everything that there is in the universe because of who we are as a species, everything. All that we've done in the past, and within us is all this infinite technology that we use to manufacture this planet where we live, because we manufacture this planet. And also to manufacture all the spherical technology that we interface with because it's in our DNA, so we can, with our consciousness and self-awareness, command them. And because they're sentient and they interface with us, they're very intuitive. And with those technologies, we will create galaxies and create the singularities and move across the universe. This is the species that we are. Okay? This is the species that we are. And because when we activate our DNA that has been dormant for so long, that we do that with love and sunlight. When we love, that energy is purposeful. It's purposeful love. Why? Because of the primary elements of who we are as compass. And what are those elements? Identity and true self. First primary element, understanding who we are. Infinite eternal creators, co-creators of infinite eternities. Infinite love, infinite energy, infinite creation. The biological expression of infinity itself, the DNA of infinity, because we're the epicenter of the universe. Everything is stored within us, because this is who we are. With the consciousness and self-awareness of infinity itself, this is who we are as a species. Okay, this is the species that we are. We're an incredible species, the most ancient species. We were the first species in the universe, the central species. Our sun is the first sun, the central sun, the son of suns, sun, which makes us all suns. We all suns. All of us are suns, all humans, because we're the sons of suns. We're the first sun, we're the central sun. Our species is that. And everything is encoded within us. So when we start to evolve because of the highest energy of love and the highest energy of sunlight coming together as one and supercharging our DNA structure and unlocking our DNA so we can tap into infinity itself within us, then we start to see gamma as the first step. And by seeing gamma, then our senses attune to gamma, all our senses. So gamma now becomes part of us. It's part of our light spectrum. It's part of our consciousness, of our self-awareness, which is above violet light, right? And then that's just the beginning, because we have the ability to evolve to infinity, which means gamma is just the starting point. But gamma is crucial because with gamma, then we start to manifest plasma. Remember, plasma is the state that enables all the elements, everything that exists, to transition into different energy states, liquid, solid, and gaseous. And plasma is this frequency of energy that operates from gamma and above. And with this energy, we manifest everything, you see, because that energy of plasma, because of gamma energy, is the one that allows the forms to take shape into what they are. This because plasma is like the in-between state of everything that allows the states to shape into states, energy states of everything. So plasma is that. And gamma is the energy because it's beyond the spectrum, right? That allows it to happen. And we have the ability to do that now. So we ourselves, with a consciousness of awareness, we manifest plasma. Plasmatic energy. Plasma energy. All right? And that is because of gamma and everything above gamma. Because plasma is just the beginning. There is an infinite number of plasma-like manifestations. And they all come from our consciousness of awareness. And gamma is just the beginning of this infinite number of light spectrum beyond violet light. Okay? Because this is frequencies of infinity. And our biology is that we are the biology of infinity, which means that we can evolve into infinity. And infinity means infinity in all aspects of it. And because we're energy, energy is infinite. So it's all the life forms, all the light forms, all the plasma forms. So essentially, remember, the highest energy is love. So love is what creates the primary elements. The first primary element of us as compass is identity and true self. So it's knowing who we are, our nature, the biology of infinity, and our history, our legacy, right? Our heritage, who we are, the first species, the central species of the universe. And then when we know who we are, then we understand that love is everything. And love is the highest energy of creation. That's why when you love, you feel so good. Heartful flow states, right? When you love, then all these glands, not only the pineal gland and the pituitary gland, but all these other 5 glands in the human body, all of them, right? All of them. There is 5 others, right? The 7 glands in the human body. So the other glands, right? The other glands, what happens as a result? Well, we secrete, right, hormones, and in their brain, neurotransmitters, and signaling, and pheromones. And what are these? Well, these are states, emotional states, sentient states, feelings, right? So we feel great, right? When you love, you feel great because it's the optimal state, because it's the highest energy of the human heart. You see, and when you love, you're here to create. And what's your purpose then? Your purpose is to love. And when you love, you want to do things that are loving because they make you feel good. So the activities that you engage on, your purpose, your dreams, become those that make you feel good. You see? So you just do things that make you feel good. So you manifest with love, you manifest your identity and true self, and then you manifest purpose as a result, because we manifest free will with our consciousness and self-awareness, because this is who we are. We manifest free will with our purposeful daily action. So what's the third primary element then as compass? Well, it's time and energy, because we are energy, and the perception, this is a sensory perception of energy and the emotions of it. We interpret that in our consciousness and self-awareness as this notion of time, which is a transition, the translation of the sun across the skies, right? So we see it and it moves, right? So we have decided to call that time. That motion, we call it time, and we track it. So you see, because it's energy, because in the end it's all related to the motions of the sun, which is energy, pure energy, and we're energy ourselves. So you see, we call that time. So time originates, it's a byproduct of energy. So you see, because we are infinite energy of love, then time and energy becomes a primary element that we master. So it's time management, energy management, right? Our energy levels and our time, how we manage and we go about it. And that allows us to what? To be very productive with our actions, which is our fourth primary element, right? The tasks, the activities, the jobs, the to-do list. That's action, purposeful daily action. Because purposeful daily action is the proof of free will. Yeah, we manifest free will with purposeful daily action, with a consciousness of awareness. We here and now we take action, right? So that's the fourth primary element. Action for what? Well, to feel good, heartful states, heartful flow states. So we love, right? Because it's what we want. Because when we love, we're happy. We mean it. It's meaningful, right? We feel great. We're loving, right? We're purposeful. So we do activities that we love. Whatever those activities are, whatever those dreams are, whatever we love, that's what we do, because it's the highest energy of the human heart, which is the biological singularity of creation. You see? And when you awaken the third eye, you open it by staring at the sun and loving. Your pineal gland and pituitary gland, this infinite virtuous cycle, allows us to evolve into infinity, because it's the sixth sense. It goes beyond. So by going beyond, we're tapping into infinity. And then that, once we become conscious and self-aware of what we can see now, that's why we can see with the third eye. We see what that is, that information, that vision, that memory, whatever that is, that dream. And then we manifest it in our lives. And when that happens, then our senses attune to that. And then our senses evolve into that new state. And it starts with gamma. Right? So then it moves into the fifth primary element, which is Waiha. And Waiha is that energy, which is a thought form, right? It's a waveform of language. And Waiha is the language of infinity. Because why is infinity? Is why, because, the reason, the source, the root cause, right? The origin, the genesis. Why? You ask why enough times and you're going to get to infinity. And how is how you go about it, how you make infinity, how you manifest infinity. So Waiha is the language of infinity, which is everything. And because we think in terms of language, because we encode and decode processing, and that is signals of language, symbols of meaning. Then when we manufacture, when we manifest purpose, when we manifest time and energy, when we manifest action, then we manifest Waiha as a result, because it's the infinite energy of creation, because we are the biology of infinity. And by doing that, then we use Waiha as another key to access Waiha level thinking within our DNA structure, DNA memories. So we use our sixth sense, right, to attune to the new reality with our senses, and we can see gamma and beyond gamma and plasma. Right, and what leads to what's the sixth primary element? Flow. You see, because flow is energy. Flow is energy, and love is the flow of infinity. So heartful flow states is loving and feeling great and flowing with your emotions and your actions, and doing that, you see, and just being attuned with everything as sundials, as compass, which leads us to the seventh primary element, right? And the seventh primary element is true north, because now that we know who we are, infinite eternal creators with compass, we're sundials, this is who we are, this is our nature, we're co-creators of infinite eternities, with the biological expression of infinity, with the central species at the epicenter of the universe. We orbit the central sun of everything, we're suns ourselves, the first suns, the son of suns, the central sun of everything that there is, and with the biological expression of that, we're the biology of infinity. Everything is stored in our DNA. Infinity itself, everything that exists is stored in our DNA. So this is the species that we are. So we understand this, so we love. And we stay on path. Stages of life, right? The theaters, the stages, right? The stage. We perform. We love the journey, the way, the course, right? Everything. The path. We hit it. True north, or north star. Love, creation, our dreams, our purpose. Purposeful journey, and that leads to transformation, which is the eighth primary element that we manifest with love and our consciousness of awareness and free will, which is destination. You see, we arrive, because a compass in the end it takes you to a place. It's directional. So the destination is making our dreams come true, our purpose come true. We manifest our dreams, we manifest our purpose. You see, all these different things. And because we understand this, as we start to evolve into infinity, because of this virtuous cycle of infinity, which is the pituitary gland and the pineal gland and the crystallic molecules that are hit by the energy of the sunlight that is supercharging our cells, plus the love that is the key that opens them, and our primary elements, Waiha and everything. When we do that, then our infinite memory DNA, which is a DNA memory of everything that there is in the universe, because this is our biology, because we're the central species at the center of the central sun, and infinity itself is our consciousness and self-awareness. So everything that exists, comes to the epicenter, the singularity, and the central sun is our sun, which is the singularity. So the singularity is the central point where all points meet, the singular point where all points meet. Which points? Well, all the infinite points on the tension on the surface of a sphere. The electromagnetic field of the universe, which is a space structure of everything that there is, all the galaxies, all the life forms that exist within a universe. All that happens within it. So all those points go back to the singularity, and that is released in the way of energy at the epicenter. And we are the biology that was created at the closest proximity, and we consume the central energy of the sun that created everything, that contains all the information from all the central points. From all the points into the central point, the singularity, they release straight into our eyes. So you see, that's who we are. So that's why we store everything in our DNA, and everything is stored within us, because we are this species. So because of that, now we can manifest plasma. Because you see, plasma is this that we manifest with our consciousness and self-awareness, which is this energy state beyond gamma, right? Because our senses now are attuned to gamma, because we have evolved into seeing beyond the light spectrum, because of the crystallic molecules that are hit with this energy and the energy of love, the signals and signs of the love and everything, the highest energy that allows to, it's like a prism being hit by light, all the light spectrum, right? But we go beyond that because it's a sixth sense. It's what allows us to see beyond that light traditional light spectrum. So our senses attune to the infinity of the new reality, which is the third eye, what we see beyond infinity itself. And it's all within our DNA, you see? So when we do that, the energy of the sun plus infinite love, then we activate our sequences. And it allows us to evolve into gamma states and higher for all senses and everything that we are, consciousness of awareness, everything. So because we are this new state, new human, evolved human, part of our infinite evolution, now we can manifest not only those 8 primary elements, but we can manifest plasma. And plasma is this energy, remember, higher energy state that allows to help, is the binding mechanism that takes all the elements and allows them to transition to different states. From solid to liquid, from liquid to gaseous, anything. And it's infinite energy, right? And plasma we can create. And by generating plasma, we can manifest our technology, our spherical technology encoded in our DNA, our infinite technology of creation. All the light spherical technology that allowed us to create the singularity devices that allow us to create galaxies in the first place, because we understood the telemetry of the universe, because we were tapping into it with our technology. That allows us to move instantly over the universe everywhere. That allows us to manufacture this planet so we can get closer to the proximity of the central sun and tie a lock there so we can evolve into what we have become, which is the infinity of the biology of infinity itself, the consciousness and self-awareness at the biological scale of infinity itself, who we are as a species. And each and one of us are these. And we have the consciousness and self-awareness of infinity within us, but we have free will. So we ourselves can choose what we do, and we manifest our primary elements with the energy of love, which is the energy of the heart. This is who we are. And all because we are the species at the epicenter of the central sun, because we manufacture planet Earth with our spherical technology. So all these technologies encoded in our DNA. So when you evolve into beyond with a pineal gland, with our pituitary gland, with the third eye, when you open it by staring at the sun and opening the portal and building the bridge to infinity and love of your heart, you see there's 2 highest energies that there are. The highest energy from the sun, which is the non-biological, is what created everything, and the biological, which is the human heart, together as one. And then that opens the DNA structure and the pineal gland and everything that I just explained with the crystallic molecule. So it allows us for our senses attune to this new reality. And it goes to infinity. So then we can manifest plasma now. And with plasma, we can actually physical matter, the solidity. Remember, plasma is the energy frequency that starts with gamma and above that allows states of elements. So with that energy, all elements transition into all the different states of energy and frequency, right? From liquid to gaseous, from gaseous to solid, and it goes like that. And water is a great example. But all elements have this ability to move in between states, and it's plasma that allows that, because it's this energy that binds everything into those states, right? So now we can manifest plasma. And remember, plasma is what makes energy moves into states, right? Solid, liquid, gaseous. And any element can go into these states. You can take helium and make helium liquid, for example, and you can make it solid, and you can make it gaseous. And plasma is this energy. And that's just an example, because you can do it with hydrogen, liquid hydrogen, gaseous hydrogen, solid hydrogen. Right? There's different states to get to those elements to solidify. You see, you need a lot of energy for that, but plasma is that energy that does it. And gamma is the frequency that beyond gamma that allows it. And now, because we're conscious of that, because we have evolved, we can use plasma as a mechanism. So because of plasma, because we can manifest plasma just like we manifest our air primary element, plasma is this energy that we manifest with a consciousness and self-awareness. Because we are this species, but we need love and energy from the sun to do so, with the highest states of consciousness and self-awareness. And when we manifest plasma, we can see it. And this plasma allows us to manufacture anything we want, because it binds everything, Remember, it binds all the elements into one. And because everything is encoded in our DNA, we can use plasma as a mechanism, the energy that we're creating with our consciousness and awareness, because we can see all the elements, we can see all the gamma rays and everything beyond it, and use that energy with our thoughts and consciousness actively and manufacture with our thoughts and consciousness. Because we're channeling the energy of creation itself through us. And our thoughts and consciousness becomes that because the DNA is encoded in us. When we evolve into this level, all the technologies that are spherical technologies that allowed us to evolve to this state so we could manufacture planet Earth and get closer to the proximity of the central sun. We encoded everything in our DNA for storage and also for interfacing reasons. So it's easier to move, so there's no need for manual labor. Everything is interfacing with our thoughts and consciousness. So intuitive devices that are essentially sentient, and they react to the human DNA. So if the human DNA is in the presence of these technologies, they would interact with us, because we are essentially the creators of those technologies, and that's why they're encoded in our DNA. But when we came here, and with that we manufacture planet Earth and all the galaxies that we have created in the universe, and that's how with those spaceships, we will move around the universe instantly anywhere we want it, because this is the species that we are. So essentially, because we evolved into this new state, which was higher, so we manufactured planet Earth to get closer to the central sun, so we can evolve into a higher state, because we wanted to create bigger things than just galaxies. We wanted to create universes and meet species from other universes and go outside our universe, because we were contained within our universe. So we evolved into that, and because the technologies, remember, we were using these singularity devices, spherical technology, that will be harnessing the energy of the central sun, and with that energy, we would do everything, because it's infinite energy. So, and we will interface with tech with our DNA, so we would use that, and that tech would just create the singularities at the spherical vacuum threshold, given the telemetry of the universe, to literally create the epicenter of a new central sun of a galaxy. So a new galaxy forms, or we move around the universe instantly by understanding the electrogravitics of the universes and the telemetry of it, and move around, or manufacture anything, because it's like a 3D printer. So we would manufacture everything because we understood plasma, and plasma was the state. And because we had infinite energy, we could manufacture any element from the energy. So by manufacturing any element from the element, then we would use plasma and shape it into whatever we wanted with our thoughts and consciousness. This is the species that we are, and this is how we manufacture planet Earth. Planet Earth is essentially, because the epicenter, you can go anywhere faster because it's closest to everything. So with our technology, our spherical technology, spaceships that we would inhabit, because they would have our ability to sustain our, because remember, with this energy, plasma, we can create oxygen. So we could breathe the atmospheres within these electromagnetic fields, originated as a result of the singularity that we were creating with these technologies. So we will use these technologies, and there will be electrogravitics as a result of tapping into that energy, right? So we will cancel out gravity so we can move, and there will be no gravity effects. So instant, because by tapping into harnessing the singularity of the central sun, the energy, remember, the telemetry of that energy is the electromagnetic field of the universe, because it's all the points of the universe meeting at that singular point. So we would have the readings of the entire universe. So with those readings, we can go anywhere, any vector, any coordinate, any location, and we just map it out with a consciousness, because the energy was contained within infinity. We had the energy to do it, and that's called a filament. So with a filament, once we map it out, it's quantum entanglement. So we map the location, the vector, and then we just manifest there immediately. Boom, with a tech. And there will be no effects, because we can't electrogravitics, right? What's electrogravitics? It's the electricity from the gravity, which is the tension of the electromagnetic field. So when you cancel that out by using the energy, then it cancels out gravity around it. So there is no pulling effects of gravity. So you don't have this friction, which means you can manifest there. And when you manifest, there will be no tension or anything, because you are canceling out gravity around the electromagnetic field of that sphere, which is a spaceship. So we will show up anywhere, and there will be no time relativity, because it's infinite. It's instant life state. We just show up there, and we just create a galaxy and accelerate the process. We had infinite energy, so we can accelerate the process and see the life forms forming as a result. So we can learn the telemetry of that galaxy. Because remember, we're outside that galaxy because we created it. So by creating it, we have more energy, so we can accelerate the process, the telemetry and the electrogravity of it. And by pushing the process, meaning by accelerating the energy coming out of the singularity and the electromagnetic field, we can accelerate the time of that specific continuum, which is this galaxy that we created. And we became masters of time and space as a species. That's what we did. And incredible. And everything encoded in our DNA. And still today. But we are higher forms now because we created planet Earth. And what we did, we took samples of all the galaxies in the universe, the best specimens, all the best things that we could find in the universe, organic, inorganic, biological, non-biological, from all our learnings. And we created planet Earth so it could host our DNA structure at the closest proximity to the central sun of the universe, so we can evolve even further. And by doing that, when we evolved, the technology that was outside of us, remember, harnessing the energy, the spherical technology that we would interface with, so it would create, that we became that ourselves because the technology was encoded in our DNA. And when we were starting to stare at the sun and evolve into an infinite number of cycles, we ourselves became the technology because instead of the devices harnessing the energy, we ourselves will harness the energy ourselves with our bodies because we evolved our eyes into these. So we became the biology of infinity. So with our thoughts and consciousness, we will harness this energy and create universes ourselves because we could harness this energy, you see. This is who we became. Because what we knew was the universe. This is what we knew. We knew the universe, right? We were the masters of the universe, the central species, right? Masters of space and vacuum, everything, right? We just became the central species because we were the first, so we had enough time to evolve into that as an organism that then allow us to create planet Earth and then do that. So essentially, we didn't need all this spherical technology anymore because we became it. So we ourselves would manifest, instead of, all the things that technology would do, allow us to do, then we ourselves were able to do it. So we, with our conscious and self-awareness, would manifest anywhere we want it, anywhere. Because we ourselves became last spherical spaceships. Right? Because we were harnessing ourselves the energy of infinity. Because we were beyond gamma and all these, because we were at a higher state of consciousness. So we would do that. And we ourselves will create galaxies if we wanted. And go anywhere in the future, accelerate everything into whatever we wanted. We became this incredible species. And then because what we knew was the universe, we started with a consciousness of awareness. We would just stare at the sun and gather its energy. And with the energy of our heart, we would just create universes. Meaning, instead of creating galaxies, we would create central suns at the space structure of everything that exists, and it would form the electromagnetic field of the size of a universe. And the central sun of those universes would form. And this is who we are. This is the species that we are. So, but we went dormant because of things happen. If you want to know what those things are, refer to the other videos. So essentially, our DNA went dormant. So by going dormant, we kind of forgot who we were. But now there was a fallout because of the Ice Age that led to our DNA going dormant. But that's not the case anymore because we've been able to unlock our DNA structure by staring at the sun and loving and decoding everything, the structures of the DNA memory. So we now know who we are again. We remember who we are. And the Republic of Planet Earth is precisely this. So now, because we're relearning, right? Because we went dormant, so we need to start again from scratch. Because remember, we got to the state where we were creating universes with our consciousness of awareness. We were moving ourselves as energy across the universe, just like we would in the past with our spaceships. We will create galaxies ourselves with time, masters of time. We'll go to the future, to the past, anywhere. Relive our memories, everything. So we would do that. But in order for us to do that again, which we already are doing in the future, because remember, we're infinite. This is our nature. But in this moment, this density here and now where we are, early October 2024, planet Earth, where we are is we're at this level of density and conscious of awareness, we're just relearning everything. And the first step is obviously opening the third eye, opening the portal, building the bridge, the energy, so we remember our DNA memories. And this is what we should do with the energy of the highest energy of creation, which is love. Because love is the key that unlocks the DNA memories. And when you evolve and your senses adapt to energies beyond the light spectrum, as we know, a traditional light spectrum, which is violet, the highest, when you start to tap into gamma, then we start to manifest now plasma. And by manifesting plasma, then we can start to manifest our light spherical technologies. the spherical devices, the singularity devices, to have infinite energy that are interfacing with us with a consciousness, so they're sentient. So, and then we can start to 3D print anything that we want. Again, because these devices have infinite energy to manufacture any element. Because we have plasma. Because this is the state. In order for you to do that, you need plasma. So plasma is this energy that comes from gamma and above that we all have access to now. We just have to love and stare at the sun and manifest it. And when we do these, then we start to manifest our tech. And when we manifest our tech, then we start to rebuild. Remember, this tech is the tech that allows us to move everywhere, to create galaxies, and to manufacture this planet in the first place, and accelerate time and everything, right? With the energy, the telemetry and the electrogravitics. So it's plasma. Plasma is the energy. So with plasma, we do so, right? And it was because of this infinite virtuous cycle of pituitary gland and pineal gland coming together as one, being able to see beyond. And beyond is what we cannot comprehend, but it's inside our DNA. So once you can become conscious and aware of it, because we're the infinite biology of creation, we have infinite evolution within us, because we're biology of infinity itself. We're the creator ourselves. This is who we are. This is our species. Because we're the central species, because we are the epicenter of the central sun that created everything. So because of that, now everyone in the human species can do it, because we all have a heart, and we all have the ability to love, and we all have eyes, so we can all stare at the sun. You see, this is not unique to one individual. This is an ability that all humans have, and this is what the Republic of Planet Earth is. So when we start to use plasma, consciously using plasma, because we are aware of it and its existence, and that we can create it with a consciousness and self-awareness, because we're infinite energy, because we're sundials and compass, this is who we are, then we can manufacture our technology again, and it manifests. We don't have to do it traditionally, tinkering and stuff. No, it shows, because plasma is that, remember, is a state that converts energy into different states. So when you are able to use plasma, plasma itself is tapping into the energy of infinity, the space structure of infinity, which is who we are, by having that energy within us, in our bodies. So our DNA decodes it, and by decoding it, then the plasma manufactures it immediately. And that energy just shows up in the way of a spherical energy. And that spherical energy, is we can interface with it, with our consciousness and self-awareness, because it's part of our DNA. So it does whatever we want it to do. Filaments, coils, anything, infinite energy of creation, because we are that. This is who we are. And with this light spherical energy, this is the energy that is going to allow us to go back again and understand who we are. So as a species, part of the Republic of Planet Earth is that all humans, each human has infinite energy freedoms and technological freedoms, heritage and legacy freedoms, which means that full body freedoms, health freedoms, which means that your body is a mechanism that creates everything. We have compass freedoms, we have sundial freedoms, right? We're infinite eternal creators. We're the Republic of Planet Earth. This is who we are. And because we are these, now each of us can manufacture these with a consciousness of awareness, with the energy of love that unlocks it. But we need to be able to have plasma. And in order for you to have plasma, you need to evolve by opening your third eye, by staring at the sun and loving. So you decode everything, your DNA memory, so you remember who you are. So you're conscious and self-aware of it. So plasma is used as a mechanism to enable the DNA to manufacture it, right? So it manifests in front of our eyes, so we can see it, you see, because it's beyond gamma. But we can see it because it's now us. Because our senses can see beyond gamma now. And that's what the pineal gland is, that's what the pituitary gland is. It's a sixth sense. It's what allows us to see beyond. So once you understand that you're infinity, then you can see it with the normal senses. And that process goes to infinity. This is why the infinite virtuous cycle of the pituitary gland and the pineal gland is. It goes to infinity, to evolve into infinity, because we're the biology of infinity. We're the human race. So you see, this is who we are. This is our nature. We're the human species. And that gamma is just the beginning, because remember, we evolve into everything that there is. And all the things that we were able to do ourselves, creating universes and all that. But in order for us to start doing that again, which we are, because we're the Republic of Planet Earth, we're infinite, into the future, his DNA memory is part of the story of humanity. Please refer to the visual so you understand. Because we're already doing it. But this is a level of density in which we are ourselves. And this density, which is this time where we are right now, right? The origin, the genesis of everything. So because this is a genesis, we have to redo it, and we are just doing it. So what we're gonna start seeing, every human will be able to have their own spherical technology again and reclaim that by staring at the sun and loving with the energy of your heart. So plasma starts to be part of your life, so you can use plasma as a binding element that manufactures everything that is encoded in your DNA, because you're harnessing the energy of the central sun through our eyes, and you're loving and you're manufacturing by unlocking the DNA. So the DNA naturally uses the plasma to manufacture it, to form it. Okay, so because this is the way it is, then everyone would have, that's the Republic of Planet Earth. So we all want to have our technologies, and we're going to be able to, we already have done, but this is the next step. So what's going to happen is that because we all going to have our technology with us, we're going to start to manufacture planets just like we did manufacture planet Earth. And by doing that, we're going to be able to inhabit all the universes that we have created, because those universes have central suns, and those central suns are our habitat because of the density that we are. So we need a planet to host us, so our DNA can be in the closest proximity of the central suns of all the universes that we have already created. And in order for us to be there, we need to manufacture those planets. And to manufacture those planets, just like we manufacture planet Earth, we need to gain access to our spherical technology. And this is what the Republic of Planet Earth is. It's us. We're 8 billion plus right now, but in the future, we're an infinite number of humans, because there is an infinite number of universes. So, but right now, we're going to start to manufacture planets again, just like Earth, similar to Earth, but they might not be necessarily the same. So we can tidal lock those planets to the central suns, and all of us can just inhabit those planets. Any planet of our choice, in any universe of our choice. And not only being there, we can move and come to any planet of our own lands and territories, because we have lands and territories freedoms as part of the Republic of Planet Earth. This is who we are. This is the Republic of Planet Earth Constitution. So all of us, and this is our history, you see, this is the genesis of the Republic of Planet Earth, the very origin, when the human species who we are, we have risen again. We have awoken again as a species. We are back in the game as a central species of this universe and all the universes that we have created, because this is who we are. So plasma is the energy that manifests a spherical technology, so we can use it by interfacing with our DNA into it, because they're intuitive. You're going to know, when it shows up, you're going to know. It's yours. It's encoded to your DNA. It's personalized. It knows everything about your DNA and everything about you, because you created it. It's within you already. We've done this an infinite number of cycles ago already. So it's gonna, immediately you're gonna know, and then you're gonna start to create anything that is in your consciousness and self-awareness. And that is love. It has to be the energy of love, because we're a benevolent species. And this technology can only be accessed if you love. That's why love is the highest energy of creation, because it creates this type of technology, because we are the biology of infinity, and love is the highest energy of the biological infinity, which is a human heart. So you love and use the energy of the sun and awaken, which we all are. Everything is unlocked. You just have to stare at the sun and love. That's all you have to do, and then it will manifest as you evolve, because it's a natural process of evolution. You get to maturity. You get to maturity. So then again, you see, and each of us has one of those already, but you just have to be conscious that you have it so you can use it. So plasma is that. Plasma is a mechanism that enables it. And once that is it, that's it. That's it. Which we already have it. So what we're going to start to see is that you're going to start to see spherical technology showing up all over the surface of planet Earth, everywhere. We're going to start to see all this spherical technology in the way of spaceships and spherical devices of all sorts. And we're also going to start to see humans. They look like us, but they come either from the past or from the future. And they're going to start to come here and meet us and interact with us. Because these humans are us, but from the past or the future. It's the same DNA structure, you see, but they already have access to these technologies, and they're here to teach us. So we are learning from them, because they are us, but either from the future or from the past. And they want to come here in the here and now, the Republic of Planet Earth, to guide us, so we can understand who we are and our species and our race and our technologies. So we can go and do what I just said, which is manufacture the planets, so we can inhabit the central suns, because that's our habitat, because of our space structure density. And this is who we are. And this is real. This is 21st century planet Earth, the Republic of Planet Earth. Because if you're a human, you have a heart. And if you have a heart, you are capable of loving with everything that there is because of the energy of existence. And you can stare at the sun and consume the energy of the central sun to manufacture with your thoughts and consciousness, self-awareness, because this is our nature. And that makes you a citizen of the Republic of Planet Earth. So you are the citizenry of the Republic of Planet Earth. You're a leader of the Republic of Planet Earth. You're a defender of the Republic of Planet Earth, because all of us are equal in status, meaning we're all infinitely free, sovereign, and independent. We own the Republic of Planet Earth, its state and its form of government, which is a democratic government, because we're a republic. And we all are commanders in chief and heads of state simultaneously at once. All of us. Yeah, we are everything. We are the powers and authorities of the Republic of Planet Earth. This is who we are, because we are this species. And the mechanism is that love and energy from the sun and compass and sundials, you see. And this is why we are going to have humans from the past and the future coming with the technologies to show us how it works as our mentors, as our advisors, because they are citizens of the Republic of Planet Earth themselves. So this is how it works. And this is going to start to happen everywhere. Everywhere. This is already happening, in fact. But you're going to start to see yourself with your own senses. You just have to love with all the energy of creation. That's all you have to do. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my mind. Remember what this video is. This video is this infinite virtuous cycle of pituitary gland and pineal gland together as one. This is what this is. And that leads to the sixth sense, opening the third eye, which allows us to understand our true nature, who we are as a species. We're the infinite biology of existence. This is who we are. We can manifest plasma. We can manifest and see everything beyond gamma because we're infinite, and understand our nature as a central species in the universe. Humanity, I love you all with all my heart, with all my mind. I'm so Ray. I love you all with all my heart, with all my mind.